Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party Youth Frontier has called for the selection of the party's next national chairman to encompass the entire North Central region, rather than focusing solely on Benue State. Speaking in Abuja, the group's national coordinator, Austin Okai, said the successor to former chairman Iyorchia Ayu should emerge from any state within the North Central zone. Okai criticized the concentration on Benue politicians, including former Senate President David Mark and former Governor Gabriel Suswam, urging consideration of leaders from other states, including Kwara, Kogi, Niger, and Nasarawa. He also highlighted the importance of a fair and inclusive process involving all key stakeholders from the region to ensure the party's unity and success in future elections. Joining us now on the news is Jide Johnson, a public affairs analyst, to help us unpack the development. Hello, Jide. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good day to our viewers all over the world. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us as well. Now, Jide, what would you say are the implications of Governor Yayari Mohammed's push to remove Umar Damagun for the overall leadership structure of the PDP?
Well, basically, the fight in PDP has always been about the inordinate ambition of its members, that for the plum price of the presidency. And whatever move we are seeing now is about the move on who becomes the presidential candidate of PDP in 2027. That's why the party has been bedeviled with one form of crisis. Even before now, you recall the various party chairmen that have been consumed by the outcome of presidential primaries in PDP. And the unfortunate thing about it is that it has not allowed Nigerians to enjoy the benefit of an opposition party, providing alternative viewpoint and serving as checks and balances to the antics and the policies of the ruling party, which the APC provided when PDP was the ruling party. So the larger picture is, in Nigeria today, we don't have an opposition party. We have a ruling party that has a complete control over the polity without the opposition party providing the needed checks and balances that is required in a partisan democracy that we operate in Nigeria. And you could see that because the crisis that removed Ayu was as a result of people having presidential ambition. And the crisis that has bedeviled Damagun is because some elements within the party want to have control over the party structure in order to determine the outcome of the 2027 presidential election. It's unfortunate, but overall, it's Nigerians that are paying for it, because we require an opposition party to provide an alternative viewpoint, to serve as checks and balances to whatever policies or programs the ruling party is putting forward.
Right. And how do you think the differing positions of the governors from various states reflect the regional interests within the PDP? What impact could this have on the party cohesion?
Now, you can't have democracy in the type of democracy we practice if you don't have the party system. So the party system is the foundation of democratic society, particularly representative democracy. Unfortunately, there's no party system. If you look beyond PDP, you look at the APC, and you look at the Labour Party. All of these parties, their respective national chairman were not national chairman elected in a convention. Now, the one for PDP is unfortunate in the sense that the national chairman resigned, and then you have the deputy national chairman from North acting. What you should have done is to have done a mini convention, because these offices were zoned, but these offices were zoned for PDP, it was zoned to the North Central, which was later micro-zoned to Benue State. What you should have done is for them to have, for that zone to give you another nominee from that particular zone, agreed at their own zonal congress, and that nominee, whoever is nominated, is ratified at your mini convention to be the national chairman of your party. But the reverse is the case. You've seen that different interest groups have come forward to say that the national chairman shouldn't come from Benue State. The national chairman should come from the North Central. That this process should be open to all states in the North Central, which should be the normal process and normal procedure. The office was not zoned to Benue State. The office was zoned to the North Central. So if you want to have a replacement, you must give that zone, everybody in that zone, a fair shot in order for them to have a say in whoever becomes the national chairman of that party at that level. But the various interests that we have, you have identified one of the principal character, and another principal character is also presently in government, is in the government of the ruling party, and he wants to have control over his own party affairs, even at the state level and even at the federal level. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that that's the situation where PDP is in. And I tell you for a fact, it is as a result of PDP House not being in order. That's why we have not been able to have a vibrant, coherent opposition, which is needed for public governance in a partisan democracy.
So more often than not, we hear about the influence of Nyesom Wike on the political parties, basically, or the political party. What extent does this influence shape the decisions and the alignment among the PDP governors, especially regarding their support or the opposition to Damagun?
Well, PDP has, the destruction of PDP as a party started with when they brought them Sheriff Modu Adu Sheriff to be the acting national chairman. Modu Sheriff was not part of the foundation member. The character you made mention of was responsible for bringing Modu Sheriff into their party. And then after Modu Sheriff, who was actually governor, he was in APP, then ANPP, and then later he came to PDP to be the national chairman. And then after he left, you had Uche Secondos as the national chairman of the party. Uche Secondos was not even allowed to complete his tenure before they brought in Yayari. Now, Yayari, don't forget, was part and parcel of the foundation of APC. So he left APC. Shortly after he left APC to come and become the national chairman of PDP. And I've said it over time, there are no political parties in Nigeria. What you have is political interest. And whatever, and then you don't have political leaders, you have political dealers. Whatever deals, they make deals on peer, or they make deals. Whatever political deals they make determines the direction with which they go, determines the party which they belong to. So, and it is whoever has the highest resources that has a major stake. Who is the person financing the party? Now, if you have the parties in Nigeria are financed from the top, not from the bottom. The power does not come from the grassroots, it comes from the top. And this major financier of the party determines what happens within that party. And you know the normal saying, who pays the piper dictates the tune. So we have seen it, whether in party A or in party B or in party C, that the influence of those that have the resources to provide these resources for the management of this party, for the funding of this party, they have an overwhelming influence on the running of this political party. So there's nothing anyone can say concerning. There's nothing anyone can do except reform the party. Reform the party in such a way that the parties draw their sources of funding from party registration, from donations from members, and then we have a campaign finance funding that determines the amount of money that goes into this political party, and the accounts are audited and they are publicized, and there is a peg to how much a particular individual can donate or contribute to a party. Then that's when we begin to have the control of the party by the people and not by money bags.